A perpetual calendar wristwatch can track every leap year automatically for 100 years without ever needing a battery. Now imagine paying $150,000 for one and being told never to touch the crown at the wrong time or you'll destroy it. For 250 years, every watchmaker accepted this flaw. Then a small company called MB&F asked one question that broke the entire system. The MB&F Legacy Machine Perpetual doesn't even look like a watch. The balance wheel floats above the dial like it's defying gravity. The gears are exposed, the movement looks upside down, but the strangest part, the real genius of this watch isn't anything you can see. It's hidden inside a mechanism that even serious collectors struggle to explain. And to understand why this matters, you first have to understand what every perpetual calendar before it got wrong. Perpetual calendars are considered some of the greatest achievements in mechanical watchmaking. A tiny machine on your wrist tracks 30-day months, 31-day months, leap years, all using nothing but gears and springs. To put that in perspective, a single perpetual calendar movement can contain over 300 individual components, roughly the same number of parts as a small car engine, except every piece is hand-finished and small enough to sit on your fingernail. But here's what nobody tells you. Traditional perpetual calendars are terrifyingly fragile. Deep inside is something called a program wheel, a mechanical memory system. And here's the trick the industry quietly accepted for 250 years. Most perpetual calendars don't actually calculate dates. They assume every month has 31 days, then mechanically skip the dates that shouldn't exist. That's why owners are warned never to adjust the calendar during certain hours. One wrong turn of the crown while the mechanism is engaged can bend gears, snap levers, and trigger a repair bill of $5,000 to $15,000, sometimes more than a brand new luxury watch costs. And collectors just accepted this for 2.5 centuries. Now, here's where the story actually gets crazy, because the real innovation wasn't a better gear, a stronger spring, or a thinner case. It was a single, almost absurdly simple idea, and once you hear it, you'll never look at a perpetual calendar the same way again. Stay with me. MB&F never followed the rules. Their watches look like spaceship engines and mechanical creatures, not jewelry. So when they looked at the traditional perpetual calendar, they didn't see something sacred. They saw outdated architecture full of compromises. They partnered with an Irish watchmaker named Stephen McDonnell, a man known for solving problems most watchmakers won't even attempt. McDonnell didn't approach the project like a traditional watchmaker protecting old methods. He approached it like an engineer staring at a flaw that had existed for centuries. And he asked the question nobody dared ask out loud: what if we've been building this mechanism the wrong way for 200 years? Here's the breakthrough. And it sounds almost too simple to be revolutionary. Traditional perpetual calendars work by subtraction. They assume 31 days every month, then forcefully skip the missing ones. That's why they break. McDonnell's system works by addition. Every month starts at 28 days, the bare minimum. Then, when extra days are needed, the mechanism gently adds them. 1 extra day for February in a leap year. 2 more for a 30-day month, 3 more for 31. That tiny inversion changes everything. No more fragile jumps, no more catastrophic crown errors, no more $15,000 repair bills from a single wrong twist. The watch becomes dramatically safer, more stable, and more reliable, not because of new materials, but because someone finally questioned the logic itself. To put it in scale, imagine an engineering team rebuilding the internal combustion engine from scratch, not improving it, not optimizing it, completely rewriting how it generates power. That's the magnitude of what McDonnell did to a 250-year-old complication. Inside a watch you wear on your wrist, and then there's what you actually see. Most luxury watches hide their complexity. The MB&F Legacy Machine Perpetual does the opposite. The giant balance wheel floats above the dial. The bridges stretch across like futuristic architecture. Every gear is part of the visual performance. Underneath the science fiction look is old-world craftsmanship most people will never notice. Sharp internal angles polished by hand, steel components finished until they reflect light like mirrors. Hand-carved engravings in places no owner will ever examine. The kind of labor that takes weeks per component, work most modern factories can't replicate at any price. It feels modern and vintage at the same time. Mechanical and artistic, familiar and completely foreign. Very few watches create that emotional confusion. So the MB&F Legacy Machine Perpetual isn't really a watch about telling time. It's a watch about rebellion. For 250 years, the entire industry agreed that perpetual calendars had to be fragile because that's how they'd always been built. MB&F looked at that and said, no, they don't. And maybe that's why most people staring at this watch still don't fully understand what they're seeing. The floating balance wheel, the dramatic movement, those are the surface. The real innovation is invisible until someone explains it to you. Underneath the polished metal, you're not looking at tradition at all. You're looking at rebellion disguised as a masterpiece of horology. If you want to know which watches collectors actually respect and which ones are just expensive jewelry, subscribe to Priceology. Because once you understand the why behind the price, you stop seeing watches the same way again.